Hello and welcome to another Chartered Career Chat edition. I'm delighted today to welcome James McCullough of Harbinson Mulholland. James, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you?
I am well too. Thank you so much. Brilliant to have you along today. What would be lovely as an opener, if you don't mind giving a bit of an introduction. Where are you at in your chartered career story, James?
Well, I work for a practice in Belfast, Harbinson Mulholland, of about 50 people, and I am sitting my FAEs this August. So I'm 3 years into the training contract, and the end of that process is now beginning to be in sight. So it's been a bit of a journey here so far, but it's something I've learned a lot through all of it so far.
Brilliant. Yeah, I know. I remember myself being at that final hurdle, nearly there, James, just this summer, and then the exams are hopefully in the rear view mirror. Do you mind telling me maybe a bit, if we rewind, a bit about how you got to where you are now?
Yeah, well, I didn't take the most usual route into the chartered accountancy qualification. I studied history at Queen's, really enjoyed it, loved it. And during my degree, I didn't have any real thoughts of doing accountancy at that stage, but I did know I wanted to get my foot in the door somewhere and start and look for opportunities after university. And I did an internship between my second and third year with Enterprise Rent a Car, their sort of management internship, and I went on to do their graduate scheme after I graduated. And I actually worked for 5 years for them in total. I ended up in a role where I was managing different business relationships with insurance companies for them, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good boss, Adam, who I enjoyed working with, but I increasingly looked at people who who are working for clients or people working within my own company, and the people whose roles I really was most interested in, the people whose roles I really thought, oh, I'd like to do that, were qualified chartered accountants, taking lead roles in managing the finances of businesses, making decisions, keeping the sales team in check, keeping and making sure that the business was moving forward and profitable, and seeing that and interacting with other friends who were making different choices in other places made me start considering taking this route, and I applied for a job with Harbinson Mulholland then.
Fantastic. So you changed your course then when you saw, I suppose, maybe inspirational leaders that you were coming in contact with, knowing they had the qualification behind them.
Yes, yeah. Well, and it was coming to the realization what I was doing in my role had increasingly led to me spending quite a lot of time producing reporting for clients, which I really enjoyed. I enjoyed helping and showing clients, right, well, if you use our services in this way, um, you'll save money, but also it'll still be profitable for us to do, and working alongside them. That sort of analysis, that was part of what got me thinking, and seeing then the people who were leading that in the business I was working in, and then seeing that, like, when you're sitting in a room with a client and there's perhaps different directors there, the person who, whenever you were trying to tell them that you could save their business money or you could help their business in this way, the person who everyone wanted the opinion of in the room was really the finance director, because
Yeah.
he was the guy trusted to assess and take all that information and how that fit into the business's overall plan. So seeing that made me think, right, well, how do I get those skills? How do I take what I've been interested in so far, and how do I develop that and gain a qualification that would enable me to have a leadership role in business in the future? So that was really the start of the process. I think it was a bit daunting, changing direction in that way. I hadn't done an exam with a number in it really since my GCSEs. I'd done an arts degree. I'd done subjects like history for my A levels.
Yeah.
So being reassured and meeting people at Harbinson-Mulholland who were interested in what I'd done and the sort of analysis work I'd been doing and my interest in that reassured me that it was actually something that I could do and a direction I could take. So it was a big change, but first 2 sets of exams passed first time, so one more set to go, and we'll be at the all important qualified stage.
Brilliant. Do you know, it's an important point you highlight there, James. You know, not a lot of folk maybe even appreciate that you can come from an unrelated I suppose education background. I mean, you know, you don't have to do an accounting degree, or you don't have to have did maths at A level or such. How have you found the transition then into work, in terms of, obviously, to get the qualification, there's the education piece, which we've sort of touched on, and you're adapting into the more maybe finance related type education program. But then also there's the work experience piece. So you're juggling both. How has that been?
Yeah, well, like it's certainly been a challenge. It's something that's required a good amount of drive to get done and get through. There's been a lot of support actually at the firm where I work in terms of other people who are at different stages of the journey, and I think that's an experience that people find across the board when they're studying and balancing work commitment with studying, that everyone else in the firm has likely gone through that same journey before you, so they are very supportive and understanding of that. The work side of things has been good in terms of it's given quite a few different perspectives on what finance related work could be. I've had opportunities not just in the accounts and audit work that my team at Harbinson-Mulholland do, but also opportunities of secondments out to take part in a finance department at a legal services firm in Belfast, and also to be seconded out to a charity as well for a period of time, and those roles will show me different things. In the legal services firm, you saw a fast-paced multinational and how that affected the priorities and different deadlines that had to be hit. Whilst at the charitable side, you saw actually a lot more of the daily functions of a business that an accountant might be responsible for, alongside providing a direction and guidance and advice back to trustees. So it's been a really interesting journey over the last 3 years. So it has a lot of variation.
Absolutely, lots of variety. It sounds. Has anything surprised you about the journey so far, whether in the work aspect or in the education program?
I think one of the things that surprised me most is the people that I've worked alongside in clients and within the firm that I work with itself. There's such a variety of people that take on the chartered accountant route and who work in finance, and there's a huge range of different personalities. It's not restricted to one particular stereotype of what an accountant might be like, but seeing that has really been useful for me in terms of figuring out where I fit in and where I can use my skill sets and experience from the past in my career going forward. So that's been a surprise. I think it's easy to acknowledge in your head beforehand that studying and working at the same time will be tough going and will be a lot of work. Doing it is a different experience, and that does take discipline and drive. But as I said, the fact that other people have gone along that journey before you, and you can see skills that's given them is a great motivating factor in it all.
You mentioned discipline and drive there. Do you think those are important skills, or are there any other qualities you think are important for pursuing chartered accountancy?
Well, I would say that's probably the skill set that you see across the board from all the accountants that I've dealt with. There's there's other accountants that you deal with who are incredibly good at all the technical aspects of what they're doing. You meet a few people who are absolute maths wizards. You don't need to be an accountant, but some people who that's really that comes very easy to them. And you've other people, and maybe it's meeting clients and interacting with them that motivates them. So I think that drive and discipline though is behind that all, and that drive to help and to make a tangible difference to the company that they're working for, and also to any clients as well, that they're actually going to make a tangible improvement to them or their business.
Brilliant. I mean, reflecting on all that, James, is it something you would recommend? If there's somebody out there considering chartered accountancy, whether they're maybe coming out of an ATI program, coming out of a degree of any sort, or indeed maybe like yourself, a little bit into their career and thinking about, a change, is this something you would recommend?
Yes, it's something I'd strongly recommend if that's something that motivates you, being able to make that tangible, real difference to a business. I think it's tough, particularly coming out of university, to sometimes think, well, I've done a degree now, I've got all the skills I could possibly ever need, and some people more mature than me at that stage realize that, well, they needed to go on and do these extra qualifications. Whereas perhaps it took me some experience in the business world to see that whilst I gained a lot of skills and experience working in that sales and business development environment, that actually to make a tangible difference to a lot of businesses, there were a lot of skills that accountancy could give you that would require that extra discipline and drive to achieve those qualifications. So no, I'd recommend it. It's not without a lot of hard work, but it would be something I would recommend and encourage others to take as a direction.
Brilliant. James, thank you so much for your time today. I know looking ahead this summer, you're going to have a busy few months preparation for your final admitting exams. Very best wishes for those, and again, much appreciated you taking part today.
No, thank you very much, Sinead. Appreciate the time. Thank you.
No problem. Take care. All the best.
Thank you.